Here's the grid for qualifying Heat C versus E. Nicola Soloff and Rafael Camara will be on the front row with Luigi Coluccio and the talented Italian Nicolo Kuman alongside. Then Karol Pazovic and Joe Turney, Marcus Kayak and Olin Gali, August Terbeau and Evan Gilter, Christian Bertucca and Ivan Dominguez. Then we will have Mark Kastelic alongside Jesse Carrasquedo. And then on row 8, Gustav Wisniewski and Matias Morgato of Brazil.
Then we're going to have on row 9 Dario Isodo Verrazzo, Noah Milel, and you might be actually surprised to see the KZ World Champion with us. He's back in OK, and let's see what he can do in Campillos. Arthur Rojon and Ella Stevens will be on row number 10. Row number 11, Alexander Kubenko and Jose Gomez Gutierrez. Jaime Torrijos and Matthias Jacobson on row 12. Row 13, Daniel Lopez and JC Lacey. Hugo Besson and Andrea Febritante on row number 14. Then we have Maximilian Angela on row 15.
It's very interesting to see the kind of drivers that are pushing up towards the front, and what a story it is for the Swedish talent Noah Milel to be returning to the world of OK. It's been a long time since he raced OK, and it's kind of been a week of discovery again for him to remember how to drive the OKs, because they're very different to KZ's. But he has a unique opportunity down the order. He's 18th on the grid for pretty much every heat he takes part in. Certainly he'll be on the 8th row of every heat, 9th row even of the heat he takes part in. But he has a unique chance to do something that hasn't been done for 5 seasons. Someone to win the World Championship in both KZ and OK categories in the same year.
And to give you a glimpse of how different this is actually for Noah Milel coming back to direct drive classes, he was telling me, actually talking to him to the paddock, that coming down to turn number 1, coming to the first practices, he had a reflex of actually trying to getting the gears down, actually coming to the braking point. But there's no gear, here this weekend, so there's no point trying to do that. But this is a reflex that's so, implemented in his mind for the past few seasons that he was ready to go, with the gearing and trying to increase the speed or gearing down, but there was nothing there. There was no stick. So he had to actually get used to that once again. So funny story about Noah Milel, who has been, getting into the pace, progressing through the ranks. But that's a big challenge, definitely, for the Tony Kart driver.
Now, for the man on pole position, this is pretty much do what you did last week, but that's easier said than done, obviously, for Nicola Soloff. He lines up on the front row of the starting grid for each of his heats, but he'll be on pole for some of them, but then he'll be on the outside row for some of the others. So it's a very tricky situation for Nicola Soloff, the Bulgarian. It's damage limitation, and we know how close he's come to winning the European Championship this year. Had he been able to start that final heat in SA, where he had an injury, goodness knows what he would have been able to do. Green, and we are away. Up to the first corner, great start from Coluccio. He jumps Camara, so Soloff is into the lead, and a couple of drivers running wide, and a spinner. That's Ella Stevens. Ella Stevens has gone around at turn 1. So I'm afraid the Richard Mill Talent Academy driver has spun off there on the Birrellart. So Ella Stevens just with nowhere to go in turn 1. So the British driver is out very early on. But of course, there's another couple of drivers involved as well, as they're trying to get used to these slick tyres. They're not perfect yet. That's the 68 recovering. That is Dario Vazzaro, the Argentine, on the Magic Racing machine. So unfortunate for him, but Soloff has got clear. Camara is now back into second place. Third is the 26, so Coluccio's down the order, and he's about to lose another place. So Marcus Kayak gets into third, and is that Nicolo Kuman, I think, in the CRG getting through? No, my apologies, that is Olin Gali.
Yeah.
So Olin Gali, the Brazilian, now finds himself up into 4th position. Kuman has tumbled down the order as well. The 2 Ward Racing teammates have come through. They are together on track now. That's August Terbeau and his teammate. I think that's Karol Pazovic.
Yeah, and watch out for Christian Bertucca from Birrellart. Actually, he was trying to get his way through. This is lap number 2 completed already. Lap number 1, here we go. Nicola Soloff, 0.6 of a second in front of Rafael Camara, Marcus Kayak. Then we have Olin Gali, Coluccio, and your battle on your screen. Let's see what Bertucca can do. Oh, and a bit of a trouble, I'm afraid, for Augusto Terbeau, the number 18, who dropped a couple of positions. Was it a mechanical trouble, or did he completely lose it in braking point? But he was able to actually find himself in front of the DPK Racing driver just behind him. But there was trouble for Augusto Terbeau. Actually, he dropped a couple of positions in the process.
See, everybody was watching the sector times of Hayter Delaniol in the previous heat, and they thought, well, it's clearly good enough for dry, so it's a dry circuit. But it's not as easy as that. There are still going to be parts of the circuit where there is still some damp patches, and look at how quickly Camara has got onto the toe of Nicola Soloff. These two are going to be the implacable rivals of the week, or at least 2 of the most implacable rivals of the week. Nikola Tsolov almost back to podium in the European Championship. Now he's going to lose ground to Rafael Kamara. So Rafael Kamara comes up into the lead. Tsolov will not accept defeat. Look at Olin Gali. He is chasing them down. The CRG package has been so strong this week in the hands of Gabriel Gomez. They got pole position for the senior category. And now Olin Gali, his Brazilian colleague in the CRG team, is right on the back bumper of these two. Maybe we will get a Brazilian world champion after all.
Yeah, watch out for the Brazilians indeed, with a sense of revenge. And there he goes through the CRG driver for second place. Nikola Tsolov is losing a bit of momentum outside of turn number 7. And that's all actually what Olin Gali was expected for. And now he's going to go for the attack on Rafael Kamara. Look at the battle between the two fellow countrymen, with the Car Republic driver in front of the CRG, with the dry tires on. Turn number 11, another good opportunity, but now it's all about getting close for Olin Gali in second with Nikola Tsolov. If he wants to win that one, he needs to get stuck as well, glued as much as possible to the top two drivers in front of him, but that's not going to be an easy task at all, as we're about to conclude lap number 3 in turn number 14. Very strong hairpin down to the track, but look at the pace that the CRG driver has been able to pull out. He just climbed 5 positions up to second now, and maybe there's going to be one more on the inside. This is quite of a tricky move that is, but he didn't make that stick quite yet.
Be careful, boys. Don't get this into the gravel this early. But I tell you what, this kind of race is always fascinating to watch. It comes down to one thing and one thing alone: tyre pressures. If you get the pressures spot on in these cool conditions when the track is drying out, then you are going to be one of the drivers to fly. Look at Evan Gilte, he's just on a 103.6, so we're still a good couple of seconds off the paces. Into the pits comes Gustav Wisniewski, so the Sauber driver unfortunately has retired from the race. There is Christian Bertucca, still dueling away with Luigi Galluccio, the two Italian stars trying to close up and make their ground on Marcus Kayak, who has overtaken them and stormed away. So they are losing time. It's all down to tyre pressures, this kind of race, because you can just go for something safe and sound. But if you get a little bit smarter in terms of tyre pressures, you get the chance. Galluccio on the inside of Bertucca makes the sliding pass. Excellently done. And Joe Turney, I think, managed to get the move on August Turbo just behind them as well. So watch out for Joe Turney, the captain of the Tony Kart Factory team, pushing his weight around. Here he comes up the inside. Oh, Christian Bertucca! That was cheeky. He was trying to pull out on Galluccio. He didn't realise that Turney was getting alongside him. That could have been a monumental accident.
Yeah, we came close to a big crash over there, but Joe Turney was able to stay onto the track and further back as well. Beautiful battle between Matheus Morcato and August Turbo, round down to turn number 5, just side by side. Oh, there was a bit of a front fairing clipping over there, I'm afraid, for the World Racing driver, and Turbo is losing ground as Bertucca is being warned by the officials. This is warning flag for the Birla driver.
Well, that was pretty quick. Well spotted by Nigel Edwards and Pasquale Lupoli. They've obviously seen that and gone, right, they need a warning flag for that straight away. So well done to the officials keeping an eye on things. But you've got to feel for August Turbo. He's just plummeted out of what was originally P4 at one stage and has fallen out of the top 10 now. You've got Bertucca trying to get away from Joe Turney. Turney's got great straight line speed, and Gubenko has walked his way up into the top 10 now, just in front of Karol Pazovic. Now, here we go. These two are going to try and stretch away. This is Gali, who's lost ground again to Nikola Tsolov. So Tsolov has been able to get back into second place past Gali, and they are dropping time to Kamara. This is what we said. It's all about tyre pressures. If you've got it right, then this race is going to come to you. If you've got it slightly wrong, or if it starts to fade away in the middle part of the race, then it's going to be counterproductive. Look at how much time Gali has dropped to Nikola Tsolov all of a sudden. Now, either he's got a mechanical problem, or the tyres came good in the first couple of laps, but now he's really struggling to make those pressures work as the race continues.
Absolutely. We're about to conclude lap number 6 out of 10, and you can see that in those really half and half sort of track conditions, this is really going to the way of the leader, actually. But Rafael Kamara, look at him, actually. Nikola Tsolov was just on the back of Rafael Kamara from 0.2 of a second. We thought at some point that Kamara had an extended lead, quite good enough for him to stay ahead, but Nikola Tsolov is coming back and is going to go for the lead around the inside of turn number 15. Can Kamara fight back? Not quite yet. He's going to have to wait past turn number 1, otherwise it's going to be way too tricky for him. Then no, he's going to go for it, the Brazilian, around the inside of the DPK driver. What a move that is from Kamara. We've seen him numerous times going for tricky maneuvers like that, but he made that stick beautifully, and Nikola Tsolov is going to have to fight back all over again.
That was an essential overtake for Kamara. The kind of pace that Tsolov's got, Kamara had to fight back and get into the lead, otherwise Tsolov would just disappeared into the distance. Essentially, every time Tsolov makes a sniff of a move on the inside of Kamara, The Brazilian is going to have to fight back instantaneously to thwart Solov's charge. Down the back straight, Solov might make a move here into the left, but Kamara's got him held up. It's going to have to be the same move, I think, in the same place, unless Solov can hoodwink Kamara in a decent part of the braking zone. You may look at this and think, well, why doesn't he just chuck it up the inside? But the problem is you come off the dry line onto the wet patch, and it's not easy to get the kart stopped as you travel back to the middle of the apex. Here's the move again from Solov, as it was on the previous attempt, but watch Kamara into turn one. He's going to try to get that position back again. He looks back to make sure that Galli's there. Solov looks, he moves to cover this time. He holds Kamara at bay. That was crucial for Nikola Solov because he's got good one-lap pace. He lulls Kamara to work with him for a fraction of a second, and now he's got clear track. Solov might disappear.
Yeah, he was just turning to Kamara saying, don't try to attack just me just yet. Actually, let's try to stay together until the end. At least we can fight each other, but not too soon because they could be actually coming back from Holland Galli, even though they have quite of a good gap at the moment with as it stands 1.3 seconds, those two on Holland Galli in third place. But that was a tricky move indeed from Rafael Kamara. I'm not sure that Solov saw this coming actually, but he's smart. And further back we have a move as well from 39. This is a good battle. This is happening. This is Holland Galli, Marcus Kayak actually. Marcus Kayak making his way up to third in front of the CRG driver. We thought at some point that he was going to stay ahead, the Brazilian, but Marcus Kayak having a good pace at the moment. He's been climbing 4 places since the start of this race, taking another one up to third. Galli is going to have to fight back. He has a bit of an advantage, but not so much. Look at Luigi Coluccio as well, taking Christian Bentuca with him. We still have a bit less than 2 laps to go. Nothing is quite done yet, but Holland Galli has just lost first place.
Yeah, and you've got to look at it from the point of view that Holland Galli, who was battling with Solov and Kamara for the lead at one stage, he has lost nearly 4 seconds in the space of the last 4 laps. So that really is tough. And again, it comes down to tyre pressures. If you've got it right, then it's perfect. In the first couple of laps, they got it absolutely spot on. But as the track has been drying out, as the circuit temperature has risen, it's gone completely pear-shaped. And here comes Coluccio up on the inside of Galli. He's not going to have anything to be able to fight back with. And Bentuca's going to slide through on the inside as well. You've got to feel for Galli. They got the exact perfect strategy for the first half of this heat. For the second half, he's going backwards. And here comes Joe Turney now up the inside. They are full send on the inside line there from Joe Turney. Now he's going to get alongside Bentuca. I thought he was going to try in the left-hander as well to get another move done, but into the last lap they go. And Solov, look, again, they have mastered the tyre pressures. He's checked out ahead of Kamara to a second clear.
Yeah, second clear indeed. So there's Solov actually. We're witnessing what the pace is going to be. It has been so in qualifying, but Nikola Solov for the second week in a row is getting his weekend starting on a perfect note. 1.2 seconds. When we thought actually, when we saw the move pulled together by Rafael Kamara, we thought that maybe the Brazilian was going to be able to stay ahead. And watch out for the move from Joe Turney and Christian Bentuca. I think the British driver had a good exit out of turn number 8 on the way down to the hairpin. We haven't seen that yet, but did he make that stick further back? Solov is on your picture. Yeah, actually, Joe Turney just made his move up into 5th place in the meantime. But Nikola Solov on his way to his first win of the weekend, maybe the first of many to come for the young Bulgarian driver who's been untouchable coming to this event. Can he be again untouchable this weekend? At least he's starting on the right note.
Out of the final turn, Nikola Solov is going to take the checkered flag. He opens his account with a win over Rafael Chavez Kamara. This is where experience comes into good use for Nikola Solov, the Bulgarian. Excellent run for him. He races out in Spain, of course, these days, so he will know the Campillos circuit better than some of his compatriots. And on the Alonso kart chassis, they really have done the business so far. But this is a very passionate team. This is a very youthful and exuberant outfit. They ran the traditional colours of Fernando Alonso's European Championship winning livery in 1996 at the season opener of the European Championship at Genk this year. Solov has looked absolutely astonishing every single weekend that we have watched them battle away. But this is going to be his first major chance to storm the Crows and seal the World Championship. And the man alongside him, Rafael Kamara, is going to give him plenty to do. He's not going to have it all his own way by any stretch of the imagination. But what a stunning and scintillating battle it has been for Nikola Solov to take the victory in magnificent fashion. Rafael Kamara in second place. Fair play to Marcus Kayak. Take a bow, third position, fought his way up from 7th on the grid. Then Luigi Coluccio and Joe Turney, Christian Bentuca and the 2 Brazilians, Holland Galli and Matias Morgato, then Augustebo and Arthur Rojon, from Alexander Gubenko, Karol Pazovic, and then it is Noah Milel in 13th, so he's made good progress. Ivan Dominguez, and then Evan Gilter.
Then down in 16, we have Jose Gomez Gutierrez in front of Mark Kastelic, Nicola Kuman. Hugo Besson is down in 19 in front of Daniel Lopez. Matthias Jacobson follows in 21st from JC Cascaredo, Jaime Santos-Rios, Maximilian Hangara, Adria Fribiante, and JC Lacey, as well as Dario Vezzaro.